this morning we're on the telephone with a couple of guys with the United Football Program. Let's say hello to the head coach, Kevin Marabito, the now all-state running back, Hunter Cameron. Morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Great. How are you doing, Todd?
Wonderful. Hunter, you there?
Yep, Mom. How are you? Good morning.
Fabulous to have you on the air with us here today. I was worried. Hunter didn't answer right away, and I thought, okay, he's a kid. He's probably sleeping in a little bit, but he was ready to go. But then I thought, well, Marabito, he's up in years. Boy, he might just be sound asleep.
Guys like me, no, we don't sleep, Todd. We're better than that.
Hunter, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
It has been such a pleasure. It has been such a pleasure to watch you play football over the years, and I know that you're one of those guys that has a motor, as they say. You've got a motor, and it's always running. And it doesn't matter what sport I've seen you play. You've always been ready to roll. And you think back on all of the years and all of the games when I've seen you play, and your coach, of course, has seen them. You've seen you play them all. But I think back to that Conemaugh Township game in your sophomore year, and what an amazing effort that was. When you have reflected upon your high school football career, are there great standout games in your mind?
I don't really have that one game in my mind. I just think of each run, each play, and I just have to go 110% every single play to try to get my team a win.
Yeah, I bet you after some of those runs, too, even some of the great runs, you think, oh, man, there were 10 more yards out there if I'd have made this cut or that.
Oh, that one extra cut is always stuck in my head.
Down through the years, of course, you've played on some really good United football teams, some teams that have struggled. These last two have been a struggle, and you've still managed to find your yards. And I know that you give credit to the guys up front that are punching up holes for you. You've had some really good linemen in front of you, haven't you?
Yeah, I was blessed with a whole bunch of great lines. I had a few that were stuck with me the whole way through, and I'm very thankful to have them.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Coach Kevin Marabito, talk about this young man. You and I on the Coach's Corner program from Luther Ford, we talked about him almost every single week because he's such a standout young football player, but I know that you have always highlighted the fact that he's a standout young man.
Oh, he is, Todd. I mean, I just watch him with the younger players, the younger kids. I mean, even elementary ones. And, he wants to teach them the right ways of doing things. I mean, Hunter always led by example, whether, it was something on the football field, in the classroom, or whatever. I mean, he's that leader that you need. I've been around a couple of years, but I've been around a lot of running backs, and he's one of the special ones. I mean, I coached a young man at Johnstown High School, Antoine Reed, that had some great moves, but Hunter's right up in there with him. I mean, there's a little bit of difference between the two, but when I look at the vision they have, the cutting ability, Hunter's right in there with him. I mean, he's probably one of the best running backs I've ever coached.
Well, the interesting thing about it is that you appear to have identified that in him very early in his career. You could see that this was a pretty special football player, and you had no qualms about putting him out there in pressure situations, even when at the beginning stages of his career. You knew that was a kid that you wanted to have the football.
Todd, you always talk about great running backs, and my son and I get into the discussion. We had another running back that I felt was pretty good, but I'd always told him. I mean, I'll go back to Alan and Jason Burkhart at Laurel Valley. When they were younger kids, you would say, "Wow, they can take a game over single-handedly." And when I started watching Hunter, he had that wow factor. I mean, he could single-handedly take a game over, and when he came up as a freshman, we really didn't want to throw him to the fire, but we knew he was going to be ready. And, I think it was game one that, the running back that he was behind went down, and Hunter had to go in and take that position. But, freshman at the varsity level was tough, but Hunter adapted well and had a great freshman year. But Hunter is just one of those backs that you could see it from his midget football days up through junior high and right into the varsity.
Hey, Hunter, do you remember those first couple of games as a varsity player? Do you remember playing those games?
Yes, I do remember. I think my first game I was running as a running back, it was against Penns Manor, and that was one of the biggest days of my life right there.
So take me inside the huddle. When you knew you were going to get your first carry, how nervous were you?
I wasn't that nervous because I had the whole team on my back, and they all were accepting of me. They all wanted me to run and do my hardest, and I just wanted to do the same for them.
What is it about football that is so appealing to you that makes you love the game so much?
It's just the feeling of being out there. I love getting the ball. I love being a part of the team. I love having another family other than my own. And I love the hearing of the crowds, even though we didn't hear much of that this year. And almost everything about the game is just, it's an amazing sport.
Yeah, it really, really is. Hey, Coach, when we were covering another game this year and we were watching the statistics line coming in from the West Shamokin game you guys were playing, and the numbers were just popping off the screen as we were watching Hunter's totals just piling up. On the sidelines, what are you thinking when you see something special happening like that? You watch it as it develops.
It's just what I said. It's that wow factor. I mean, I remember the West Shamokin game. I mean, it was just, he just touched the ball and he was gone. I mean, it was like possessed, and you just, it's hard to describe, Todd. I mean, you just watch it. Just something special is happening each play, and and you just can't believe it's what you're seeing. I mean, it's just, but it comes down to the hard work that Hunter's always put in and the things that he does. I mean, one thing, and I've said it for 4 years, that you always say as a coach, you play the way you practice, and the way you see Hunter play is the way it is in practice. I mean, there's times that coaches have the hand shields, and we got to brace ourselves because he's hitting us. I mean, he's coming at you, and that's what you appreciate about him. I mean, he's 100%. You wish other players would see that, and that's the same way. I mean, it just carries over into the games. I mean, it really doesn't surprise you because everything that I see of him in a game is what I see of him in practice. I mean, I don't know, a good friend of mine, Ernie Fetzer, who was around, comes down every once in a while and watches us practice. And the first time he ever seen Hunter, he says, what kid's pushing Hunter for that position? I says, nobody, because you can see what type of numbers we have. He says, I've never seen a kid that has no one battling for his job to go that hard. And that's a credit to Hunter and, his family, that, he was taught the right ways of doing things.
Hunter Cameron is an all-state football player, named yesterday, of course, by the PA Football Writers Association. Hunter, talk about getting that notification. What did you say when you found out?
I'm still waiting until that kicks in. Like, whenever I figured out it happened, I couldn't even believe it, mostly the season we had, but just seeing all my work I went through
and just knowing that people recognize that effort that you put forth, because it was, there were a lot of times when people said, well, boy, they're really going to be aiming at Hunter tonight. That's a big, strong football team he's going against. They'll have his number, and they just couldn't catch number 20.
I love when that happens because it puts the pressure off my quarterback's back. It puts the pressure off everyone's back, and I want everyone to come at me. I want them to try to stop us where the heart of the line is.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's the plan moving forward? When you are out of high school and you're a United High School graduate, what does Hunter Cameron plan to do?
I'm still going to be playing football. I do not know where of yet. I'm going to go into college undecided, but first I'm waiting to figure out what college will fit best for me.
Yeah, well, there's so many of them out there, and I can't think that there's a single one of them out there that couldn't look at a kid like Hunter Cameron and say, we want him on our football team. Coach Kevin Marabito, this is a kid who not only played solid football from the running back position, but had the selflessness to take on the quarterback role when asked. He's one of those kids that do anything, wasn't he?
Oh, he was. I mean, the one thing we joked would have been his junior year. It was a weightlifting session. I was just joking with him. I said, hey, I might have to move to the offensive line this year because of numbers. Okay, coach, I'll go there. And that's the unselfishness that he has. And that's what's going to make him successful. I mean, I tell our kids this all the time. I mean, hopefully Hunter gets that right fit to play college football. But the biggest thing they have in 4 years, you're going to work. Go somewhere, play football, have fun, but keep in mind that the ultimate goal is what you're going to do with the rest of your life. Football is going to come to an end. We're looking at Hunter to hopefully I can see him play 4 more years and get from there. But his career and everything he's done is going to be a lot of special moments for him.
It's been an amazing experience watching Hunter Cameron play football for United. He's kind of fun to watch on a basketball floor, too, because you can see the other guy's eyes light up with fear. Hunter, thanks so much for spending time with us this morning. Congratulations once again.
Thank you for having me, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas.
Beautiful. You too. You too. Coach, thanks again to you.
Okay, thank you, Todd. And once again, Merry Christmas to you and your family, and, we'll see you down the road.
There you go. There you go. Hunter Cameron and Kevin Marabito with us this morning. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160.